I'm going to run you through a few major points that we need to be aware of for 2025. I'm going to start with the New Year's chart and talk a little bit about what I see there as we kick off, because it's always good to look at the chart that begins something, and it reveals a lot about what we had. A lovely new moon, which was an amazing alignment to have at the beginning of the year. So let's start by looking at the New Year's chart. I'll mention a few things that I see there so you can understand how this is kicking off for us. Now I'm going to share my screen and show you that chart. So we're just going to look at the New Year chart. What I have looked at here, obviously the glaring thing, if you just look at colours and lines, you will get a sense of how the energy is flowing. Mars is retrograde at the moment, and it is opposite Pluto. So there's a direct link from Mars to Pluto. Now, that's important to note because we're kicking off the year with a new beginning where the North Node, which is how we're to strive forward, is ruled by Mars. So there's a lot of drive and intensity, an amazing intense focus here around where we're heading. So take that into yourself, because Aries is about how you use your energy, and it doesn't like to be dissipated by taking in too many other people's energy. And Leo is very personal as well. It's like, how am I going to create? What am I going to do? What am I going to manifest? But because it's retrograde, see this little R? That means that there's a self-focus. And when I look at the self, which is the sun, and the sun and the moon were just literally the day before in conjunction. So it's in a new moon phase. And what we have here between the sun, what is the sun doing? So when I looked at the vibrational charts, what's happening is that the sun is part of this amazing 5-planet structure, starting with Neptune. Neptune's actually moving into Aries this year. So it's at the end point of Pisces, very powerful in Pisces. But Neptune's doing a lot this year, and it's moving into Aries on the 30th of March. This is leading with compassion. It's about leading with compassion when it goes into Aries. Knowing that we have to reach for that Aries energy, it's a lot about driving ourselves, not checking necessarily whether it's okay with someone else, because there's a myriad of different ways to do things. And if we dissipate our energy and give it away, then someone will take it. If you don't know which way you're going, you'll be led by someone who wants your energy. What I have here is the story where the sun is sitting between Mercury and Pluto. There's a link here that you wouldn't see normally, but it's giving us an intense focus. I hope you're obsessively interested in something, because there's an amazing focus and will to take that forward into fruition. Those three are connected by just 11 minutes, which is very close. We've also got Mars connecting to Mercury at a midpoint, which is our mind and our perception. So Saturn is here, and Mars, this incredible drive, what's it doing? It's sitting between Mercury and Saturn. We want to take purposeful action when Saturn is involved. The action must have a core reason that's going to last beyond time. This intense focus is backed by these 3 planets, and they are connected by only 11 minutes. Anything under 30 minutes is considered very close as far as energy flow goes. That's giving us an insight into how Mercury is working and connecting to Mars. So what that means is Mercury is our mind, our perception, what we think about things, and Mars is our drive. Now, that planet's very important because it rules Capricorn. So the planet that rules a sign becomes an energy in resonance to that sign. I looked into some vibrations of that, and Pluto was conjunct that in the 17th vibration. We want to maintain our story, our direction, our humanity, because 17 is about compassion. It's about being interested in what other people are doing in their lives, their stories, living through them, and also having our own story to tell. So this drive to be on purpose, to have an experience out of our lives. There's a lot happening that is coming into the self more. Humans are amazing for being able to find answers. When you look for an answer and you are driven with this energy, Saturn will take you to the core bones of the answer, the essence of it. When you have a drive to do something, it must mean something to you. The sun is your expression, and Pluto, which is giving you that intensity, and Mercury. It's a good practice, especially in this early part of the year, to think carefully about what you want. And a massive alignment that is happening as well, and it's only 3 minutes, so it's even closer, green, is this particular one, Neptune. Neptune is what gets you out of bed in the morning, what brings magic to your life, what makes you feel inspired and in awe. That is connected to Uranus, the sky god, and also Pluto, the god of the underworld. So we have this intense connection between these planets that is driving us at our core. These energetic flows are telling me that there is a transpersonal spiritual alignment available, because they take their time, they don't let go, and they're wanting you to get back to the spiritual core or the soul of your being. That beautiful Neptune energy is going to shift into Aries. So we need to be ready for that. And if we are aligned to that energy, we will become leaders with compassion, leaders who care, leaders who walk their talk, because the Aries energy is very clean, very clear, and very honest. It wants to move forward unimpeded. And what Mars is doing is becoming very important. What I would certainly recommend is to be quite still and quiet. Don't push willy-nilly with your energy. Push when you get the go-ahead. Mars is in Leo, and Leo is ruled by the heart or the sun. So all of these energies are connecting in a really big story of authenticity. And what will take you forward in 2025 is to connect to that authenticity. There are a lot of opinions out there. The energy's been quite chaotic in a lot of ways, and the Pisces energy has been strong, which is great for awakening. I hope you have been on that path of awakening, but it's also can bring disillusionment if you don't have a clear purpose. Finding that clear purpose for you will be one of the motivators for this year, because Neptune will be aligning with Saturn. So see Saturn here? Saturn is going to move along in this direction. and it's going to sit right on Neptune and play around in that field. So Saturn questions and says, is it real? There will be a strong desire for authenticity. Saturn wants the facts. Illusion and fantasy wear thin, but Neptune loves fantasy and loves to dream and loves to have something that gets you out of bed in the morning. Saturn wants it to be on purpose. And the alignment this year is going to be bouncing all over. Saturn's going to be bouncing all over Neptune. We must spiritualize Neptune, or the illusions will get stronger. That's going to be one of the struggles some people have, is to hang on to something that needs to be let go of. So Saturn transits can be quite brutal because there's no wriggle room when Saturn moves along. And obviously Saturn's going to ingress into Aries as well, because they're both going to be in Aries. So there's a lot of drive and Saturn to actually get clear. So one energy is unclear and one energy is super clear. So having the two of them together will be interesting, to say the least. And the dates for when that happens, I've got so many pieces of paper here. The dates for when that happens is specifically, what is it? Means just 1 second, let me get that for you. Neptune enters Aries on March 30th. And what we're going to see is that leadership will start to crumble away and false leaders will be exposed. The Aries energy follows nobody. Some spiritual leaders will drop their guru status because Saturn wants to know what's right at the core. When Neptune and Saturn are conjunct, it's seeking sincerity and that we're true to our ideals in essence. There will be a deep desire to be on path to why we're here, because Saturn is the Lord of karma. Some people will feel intense disillusionment. Many will question these false leaders. The way to get through that is to find your own inner leader. We were all born leaders and can lead our own lives. Each life is so individual that no one can really tell you how to live it. Anything you can do to find out more about yourself, as they say in the Bible, know thyself, you'll start to identify when false leaders come along to test you on your own sincerity and direction. So that's a potent energy throughout the year. There is a lot of Aries energy coming up. By February 4th, Venus is going to enter into Aries. Venus is what we are attracted to. So there will be a will to be more self-led by that time. We will come out of a Piscean phase, which is an ending of a cycle. We'll be more self-motivated to strive for what we want and go get it. The motivations we have for going after certain things will show themselves to be either illusory, seeking for that which glitters and is not gold, or we will be going for gold and clear on our direction because Venus will bounce. It's going retrograde in March and it's going to bounce between Pisces and Aries. The energy is questioning what our motivations are. And we're here to lead with this Mars drive. The powerful woman may rise and we may start to honor that powerful feminine drive that we all as women have to protect our family, to go for what we want and all of that sort of thing. By June, Venus will enter Taurus and settle down, but this story will be happening for quite a while. The fact that both Mars and Venus are retrograde, we may well question our relationships as well, and whether the type of person will support our direction. Because if we unite with people that are maybe a slower flow or not in support of our clear direction, that Aries energy is more likely to walk alone than to put up with that. That's the Venus energy traveling around and doing its thing in Aries to start the year. And we also have major changes happening with Uranus, the sky god. That one is moving into Gemini, which I mentioned briefly before. But what that's going to do is accelerate communication and to a phenomenal level. And we just need to watch that we don't lose touch with our humanity and our story, because that's the core of what we want to continue with. So what will the future look like with Uranus in Gemini and Pluto in Aquarius? We've got some very strong, fast-moving air happening, and Aries of the mind. So I think the world is going to accelerate even more than what we can realize now. And there's the other drive, which is finding who we are in amongst it, so we can use it to support us, all the changes to support us, rather than take anything away. Knowledge is powerful, but how are we going to use that power to support humanity to grow? Or will Pluto bring a crisis of evolution for us to adjust to? So that's a little bit of what is glaring at me throughout the year. As I write Friday Sky, I will be more specific about certain things as they come up. But let's not lose our humanity and our connection to each other. I think there will be two schools of thought and ways of operating as we go forward. The ones that are developing their spiritual inner connection, and those that are going to leap ahead with the mind and accelerated mental activity. Potentially won't be unusual to walk alongside your robotic best friend, but yeah, there's certain people that are not willing to let go of their humanity And the soul always wins. I know that. And truth always wins in terms of the big picture. There's a lot happening spiritually that will bring some sort of transformation for us. And the ride will be fun. As I look ahead, the eclipses are really potent and there's more to discuss. So keep in tune with me, and I'll be continuing to share every Friday on Friday Skies. If you don't receive that email, you can find that on my website, michellemarie.life, and right down the bottom of the home page, there is a link to join that newsletter. And the way you spell that is Michele, Marie, Marie, .life. That is my website, and that's how you can join Friday Sky. Thanks for listening and enjoy the ride. Yeah, so as I said, enjoy the ride, and I look forward to connecting with you throughout the year. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.